Is Double O Direct. Good afternoon. I'm Olivia Otieno. This is a safe space for women with a woman host, music by women, only women guests, Pole Sitoyo Lopokoyet, Pole Bright Gemeli. But I know that you are allies because you listen every week. Thank you so much. Saturdays from 10 a.m. Join the live stream on the homepage, standardmedia.co.ke. We are now also live on KTN News for the next hour. Ladies, I love the intro that you'd given me earlier, but I want to delve a little bit deeper. Yeah? Apart from wishing your brother a happy birthday today. Anaitwa?
Edward.
Happy birthday,
Baraka,
Edward.
yeah.
Edward Baraka, happy birthday. What do you want to tell Edward?
I want to tell him I love him very much. And he has honestly been the best brother I could ever ask for. We are only two siblings. He's the best youngest sibling I could ever ask for. He's very supportive and I love him very much.
That's so sweet. Yeah. That's so sweet. Happy birthday, Edward. We're going to see what track we can drop for you as you celebrate your birthday today. But I wanted to find out, now that I know you have a brother, give me a little bit of your background and how you grew up, where you grew up, where you went to school.
Right. So I grew up actually in a bunch of towns in Kenya, Othaya, Nyahururu. So my mom was a banker with Barclays back then. So she'd moved from, one location spot to another, being moved around. But then we finally settled in Nairobi, I'd say maybe 1999, thereabouts. And I've lived in Nairobi ever since. Grew up in Donholm in Utawala, where we built. But however, right now, unfortunately, my mom passed on because of cancer back in 2017. So it's been me and my brother. And I think my relationship with him is very special because he's my pillar, I'm his pillar, and it takes certain, kind of life situations for you to actually appreciate the value of the loved ones that you have in your life, people you can actually rely on, right? So that's where I grew up. That's my family structure. I have a very supportive extended family. My aunt is amazing. She's a mom to me right now. So my family is very supportive, and as I've said, so we've grown up in Nairobi. My brother right now, he's in second year, Moi University.
Is that where you studied as well?
Yeah.
What did you study there?
So I studied at JKUAT, and I actually did mass communication and journalism.
Welcome. We have a new co-host, right? Sometimes Nachokanga. Oh, sorry. Sure. That means I get tired at times. So I'm glad that Evelyn, you'll be able to take over in the eventuality that
Absolutely.
I need to step aside for a second. So you studied mass communication?
Yeah.
In the hopes of?
In the hopes of actually becoming a broadcast journalist. And I tried it, but then... So
see, already.
Let me
for Charlotte, it's not easy.
It's an art,
yeah,
and it was really hard. So I ended up just transitioning naturally into marketing.
Okay.
I think it has a very big relation to it.
Wonderful. Tell me about yourself, Charlotte, and growing up in South Africa. Where in South Africa did you grow up?
So I grew up in the Northwest Province, previously a homeland. So we're very much protected from apartheid because we're not part of the new South Africa at the time. And as I mentioned, from a family of three girls, and I'm the last of the three, but, a left fielder. That one I just need to explain to everybody who knows me and to my sisters as well. I'm a left fielder and I'll continue to be one. And currently have two beautiful girls, 10 and 11. They're with me here in Nairobi, and my incredible husband, who is a businessman, but is supporting this opportunity that I have to do some work in Nairobi, Kenya. So, and him and I actually run a foundation that is called Data to Innovate. So very much it's utilizing technology and data for the good, basically, to support the non-urban areas in South Africa, the villages in South Africa, to leverage data in making food for themselves and actually make a living for themselves.
I love that. And this week, we marked Girls in ICT Day. And you have this foundation, you're in tech. Are you encouraging your girls, or how are you integrating tech and ICT into their lives? I know I'm asking you out of left field, but you said you're a left fielder.
True. In fact, one of my girls is actually a left fielder. So what we did was, back when they're very young, I think 4 and 5, we started enrolling them in mathematics programs, but also coding.
Yes.
And the wrong side of that is that the little one who's 10 years old, who does not have, is not scared of anybody in the world, that much I can tell you, decided that she's going to correct the teachers in terms of the methodologies. So what she would do is she would refuse a particular long approach,
Yes,
and utilize this, I can't remember that Indian approach to
Yes,
math that,
yes.
that I put them through.
Yes.
But I love the fact that I'm raising somebody who's very confident, who finds efficiencies in whatever they do and not have to do this long division method.
Yes.
There's value for it. But then again, as a left fielder myself, she's taken after me. But yeah, so very, very important that you integrate this in kids at a very young age. It just gives them that confidence. It gives them that the feeling that they can actually contribute to the world and actually be an expert in something that is not common for everybody.
Yes.
So yeah, and in terms of how I make sure that they're also a part of the foundation is, in fact, the little one has got a heart for people. So every time we drive on a Sunday, she'll go like, okay, we need to stop and give the people on the street food and so on. So we're just chatting now in December that we need to set up a foundation for her.
Yes.
Her name is Letseho. The biggest is a little bit shy, but this little one is just taken after mommy and proper left fielder.
I completely love that. Did you know we were celebrating Girls in ICT Day this week, Evelyn?
Yes, I did.
What does that day mean to you?
I think it marks advancement. And for me, I feel like, especially tech, when you speak tech, it always feels like women are drawn apart from it, like it's male dominated, regardless of how much progress we've made to it. So I think that specific day is a highlight that women are also doing it, and they can be involved and they can contribute to IT meaningfully, right? So that for me is what that particular day marked.
The great thing is that girls in ICT then become women in ICT.
Yes.
So Charlotte, the conversation today is supposed to be about artificial intelligence. Let us first define what AI is.
Yeah. So AI is exactly that. It's intelligence that's artificial. I think you did give me a cue that it needs to be really practical, what you're talking about today. I'm not going to
No, hit us first with the intelligence. Hit us first with the MIT going to do PhD. Hit us with the, I'm also wearing a really crisp Olivia Pope pantsuit. Yeah, hit us with all of that. Then we'll dumb it down later.
So basically, I mean, AI, it's machines that simulate human behavior and intelligence. And how do we build this kind of systems? It's basically utilizing algorithms. So that's where the mathematics come in, but also utilizing the data that we collect to train or teach those machines to have the human intelligence that we have. I always make an example of a calculator. So there was a time where we could calculate things using a pen and a paper. So 2 + 2 is 4. But then as soon as our world became complex, we needed to use the calculator. We needed to then calculate 2 to the power minus 39 plus 34 to the power 29, which we cannot easily do without the calculator. And that's the power of AI. It's a digital transformation that is enabling us to generate efficiencies in our world and make our world a better place, utilizing algorithm, mathematical equations, and the data that you have for an output that's going to be intuitive.
I want to understand, with regards to where we are now as a species and where we are now as a species that is looking towards commercialization, where are we using AI? I want to make it very, very simple, right? Because I want to understand, in what capacity are we using artificial intelligence for commercial purposes? Because there's so many things we can use AI for. The other day I was trying to communicate with a gentleman in another country in a different language, and I was like, this. I know, artificial computer, they're using it. But I want to find out, with regards to commercialization, and you transitioned, Evelyn, from marketing into tech, and you're actually helping companies to do that. So can you outline a little bit first about your work?
Right, absolutely. So one of the ways that companies are now using AI right now is simple things like automation of Chrome jobs or, repetitive tasks. So you find at any given day, let's even say, for you to provide a service, you have to enter particular amounts of data and then feed that data. So you'll find that maybe even as you're walking into a banking queue, and these are very mundane things that you do, right?
Yes.
So it becomes that now there is a machine where you just click and you say, I want to go to this particular teller, right? And then that information is fed somewhere and then it's actually processed. So one of the ways that we are actually, and I've been working with businesses, is to actually automate some of the Chrome jobs that people are doing. Because the conversations that we have when we go into these rooms, if you've hired people who've done masters, but then at any given day, these people are sitting down to work on an Excel and then convert that Excel into a presentation. So you've basically converted people you pay a lot of money to just become Excel masters.
Yes.
And the role of AI is to actually automate some of those dependencies, repetitive things that you do every morning. I have to say, I had 15 sales, and this is what it means, right?
Yes.
So then move the people that you have actually hired because of their competence from being routine job doers to being actually strategists for your business, so that if the machine can calculate how much sales I had this week and it can tell me whether it was an increase or a decrease, then I can spend more time figuring out the reason why.
Wonderful. Charlotte, can you add on to that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm thinking of you mentioned marketing, and there's lots and lots of applications of AI in marketing. One of which is targeting, right? Making sure that you don't spam customers, you target the right customer with the right offer. And in the space of AI, there's what we call supervised learning, supervised machine learning.
Yes.
This is now a set of algorithms that utilizes the data that we've gathered over time with the specific outcome. So basically, you've targeted Olivia with an offer. Olivia rejected, and Evelyn accepted the offer. You use that data, you train it through this supervised machine learning algorithm or equation, and it spits out proactively whether this next person who looks like Olivia is likely to respond positively or not based on the historic data that you've gathered.
Yes.
So exactly that. That's the application of machine learning and AI in the space of marketing. And there's many applications. I mean, I get excited about ChatGPT. I get excited about, and I know a lot of academics, academics out there, they are not very much comfortable with it because it just takes away old ways of approaching education.
Yes.
Another controversial statement that I will make is that it's not really about how much information I can retain, but whether I'm able to apply that in my day-to-day.
One of the criticisms of our education system, I don't know about the new one, but one of the criticisms of our former education system, 844, was that it was more a system of regurgitation of information rather than the application of information. So I'm glad that you've said that, because academics pride themselves on their ability to recall vast swaths of content, let's say data and information, right? And that really is a demonstration of their intelligence, whereas now we're like, that doesn't even matter anymore, and I think even lawyers, for example, arbiters are going to be really panicking with AI as a result of. Continue, Charlotte. Apologies for the interruption.
Yeah, absolutely. And ChatGPT brings about exactly that, your ability to generate text from prompts, allowing the machine to actually do this summarization of massive amounts of data that you get in books, that you get on the websites and so on.
Yes.
And that, for me, I don't see it as a threat. I see it as us being afforded the opportunity to utilize our brain. Our brain is a lot more powerful than the biggest machines that we have, but we tap into it so little of it that we're really not realizing the full potential that we can achieve as human beings. And therefore, these technologies, if you are embracing to them, they afford you that opportunity to do something else with your brain, as opposed to regurgitating, as you mentioned, or just information retention and therefore giving back to somebody else.
What is big data? You had a department at Safaricom called Big Data and AI. What is big data?
So I'll explain it through an example.
Please.
Right? Again, think about, as you speak right now, this is information being generated. On your phone, you walk around, information is being generated between systems, between applications. You take a photo, you load it up, you send it to somebody else, it's information, pictures being generated, that's information, that's data. So big data is really are transitioning from logical data sets where it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here's it's a number of records in a relational database, but really includes now unstructured data that is streaming at all times. And that's what makes it data. The velocity, the veracity of this data, that's very different at any given point in time. Now, that's not value in and by itself. It becomes valuable if you can translate it into insights and also actionable insights. And this is now where the AI comes into play. Your ability to analyze this data, and obviously, as you can imagine, it's not a paper and a pen activity.
Yes.
It's allowing the machine and the pre-built algorithms to actually learn from this data and spit out something that actually is meaningful to the organization across all the departments. So my role at Safaricom is looking at applications of big data and AI across each and every single department within the organization. Number one, to bring about efficiencies. Secondly, to ensure that we serve our customers and we give them superior customer service, but also ensuring that we drive down the cost where we don't need to incur certain costs.